so Katie can go ahead and take it over, and I will let her take it from here.
Thank you, Sam, and I'm so excited to be a part of this community. The vision and the work that you guys are doing is incredible, and it's really, really supported me in amazing ways, so I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what I want to say first of all before we get started is I know that this topic is going to be about how to make money during this time, and I want it to be in no way belittling the hardships that people are going through right now with COVID. I know I personally know people, loved ones who are struggling with COVID and who are trying to heal from it. So this is in no way belittling that hardship. What it is intended to do is inspire and empower entrepreneurs and business owners in this time to harness the greatness and do the best that we can through this. So I also want to first start by saying that I can relate. I'm going through it too. So I have a 10-year-old design firm here in Miami. We work on residential and commercial projects. And right now what's going on with us is that all of our projects are frozen. And by all, I mean all. I mean every single one. So if you're feeling the financial squeeze of this time, trust me, I am too, and that's why I'm here in support of you. I also have an interior design association that I call Biographical Design Collective, and that is an association built around supporting interior designers in business. So this is something that I've had a heart for way long before COVID has struck. So I am ready and armed to support all of you on this webinar today. And I'm speaking from experience and lots and lots and lots of training and coaching behind me. So, so a thought that I want to share with you all is we cannot choose our hardships. We can't. What we can choose is how we get through the hardship and how we focus our mind to get through the hardship. So I have a really, really important, powerful question I want to start with, and that is, let's say in 2 years, when you're looking back on this COVID time, what's the story that you want to be telling about yourself and about your business? So I got an email a couple of days ago that I thought would be really pertinent to share. It's from Notes from the Universe. If you don't subscribe to Notes from the Universe, I suggest you do. They're really powerful, like 2 sentences every day. And the one I got the other day says, "Today, Katie, there are likelihoods, no concretes, no absolutes, nothing predestined or set in stone, just likelihoods. And the ones that will come to pass will all pivot on you and your decisions." And that just really struck me hard, because I think that the universe is right now giving us a gift of time. First of all, being alive is a gift that I think that we're all present to at this moment. And also we're being given a gift of time of all of our projects being on hold. The world is sort of at a pause. And so this is a time that we normally wouldn't have, a space around our development that we normally wouldn't have had. So the question I have for you is, what's the decision that you're going to make now in this time to harness your greatness and move forward, so the story you're telling on the other side of COVID is one of triumph? So I also want to say, what happens if you wait too long to make a snowman? Well, the snow melts and then you never get the chance, right? So I think right now our grounds are covered in snow, so to speak, and now is the time to make a snowman. So do me a favor, write in the chat, "I'm committed to the snowman," so that I can see who's here, see that there's people on. I love involvement. I love chatting, so I would love to see you chat. So let me see who's involved by saying, "I'm committed to making a snowman." Awesome, 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 awesome. Lots of people committed to the snowman. Perfect. Okay, so look, I see all the snowman coming, committed to making the snowman. Yes, my heart is exploding right now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so what I want to do is first start by showing you the big picture. So I'm going to show you an outline of what we're going to talk about today. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I want to make, I see a snowman builder. Awesome. I want to make this webinar more like a workshop, less like a lecture. Does that make sense? So I want to be getting into the weeds, and hopefully you have a pen and paper nearby that you can take notes, answer questions on the pen and paper. Awesome, Sam, you're an A+ student. And I'm going to be walking you through these steps so that you can create ideas on how to create alternative revenue for yourself. I'm going to share my screen right now to show you our outline of what we're going to talk about today. So the first is I'm going to show you the big picture and how this is going to work for you in particular. The second thing we're going to do is how to align what you do and what you decide to do to who you are. That's really important, if not the most important. The third thing we're going to do is how to pick a revenue stream. We're going to do that based on your target audience and your unique gifts / specialty topic. Fourth, we're going to know, you're going to know how to, how to know what product to sell, because even picking a product is an important step. Then you're going to, fifth, discover how to deliver that product. Six, how much to charge for that product. Seven, how to market the product. And then at the end, I have a special offer to share with you. So I hope that's exciting for you, because we're going to dive deep into the weeds and really get this going, so you all on this webinar can leave with actionable items on how to generate revenue. All right, if you're in, say I'm in the chat. I love to feel all of your energy. It really, really inspires me. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. Okay, so the big picture. Right now, we're in a season of innovation. And I think it's so cool. As a human species, we've been very, very innovative from, our inception. And now this COVID time is really putting this pressure cooker on businesses being innovative. I've seen like the Today Show, for example. The Today Show is live from the homes of the hosts. I mean, that just blows my mind. You've heard of the department store Kohl's. They're doing takeout orders like a restaurant. I think that's brilliant. We're seeing lots of vendors do virtual showrooms. Brilliant. Vision is doing this incredible virtual market. Like, how did we even think that could ever exist in the world without this time? So these are incredible. So the thing is that we either do this or we turn out like Blockbuster Video. If you don't know Blockbuster Video, maybe I'm dating myself. I hope you do know Blockbuster Video was sort of put out of business by Netflix, and because they didn't innovate, they just kind of closed their doors. So there are lasting benefits to innovation. Take, for example, Apple. Apple started with computers. Look at that company now. It's incredible. Disney, one of my favorite companies in the world, started with cartoons, and now they have cruise ships. I mean, this is just like the innovation in business is really, really inspiring to me and gives me a lot of energy. So, so what I want to show you is that we're going to be talking about this sort of emergent topic of how to create revenue in this time. And the important thing that I want to leave with you today is that what we're creating today has lasting legacies and is probably something we should have been or could have been thinking about our business from day one. So what we're creating today is going to have a legacy that is going to generate revenue for our business in the long run. That said, it's really, really important that what we do now, we get right. Here's what I mean by right. I'm not on this webinar going to be giving you just a list, like, oh, here's a list of ideas. I'm not going to be doing that. Think of it more in terms of like teaching you how to fish instead of giving you the fish. Since I know that what we're going to talk about today has such long-lasting legacy, I want to make sure you're fishing with the right fishing rod. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for your encouragement, Sam. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So the first step we're going to talk about is alignment. And this is, if you walk away with one thing from this workshop, this is the single most important thing to get right in anything you do. Alignment is creating, matching what you do with who you are. So for example, if I were to give you a topic today and say, all right, guys, I have a really good solution for everybody to generate revenue in this COVID time, and that is videos on how to design bowling alleys. There you go. Bye. Thank you for joining us. You know, there might be some of you on this webinar right now that would say like, cool, that's a great idea. Thanks. And go run with it and make millions of dollars. Kudos to you if that's you. But there are others of us on this webinar that would say, bowling alleys? I have no idea anything about bowling alleys. That makes no sense. It's totally irrelevant to what I do. And there might be some of you on this webinar that would go, be on a video? Gross, no way, I would hate that. So what I know to be true is there's no one size fits all solution to anything, not in life, not in relationships, not in business, not in anything. So, what I know is that if I can show you how to create an idea of generating revenue, then I know you'll be able to deliver that revenue generating thing with excellence. And if you can deliver it with excellence, then I can promise you you'll generate more revenue from it than you would otherwise. Does that make sense? Chat, that makes sense? Just to make sure I'm pacing with you guys. Okay, so there is something that a man by the name of Roger Hamilton created, and it's called wealth dynamics. If you haven't yet done wealth dynamics, I would highly, highly, highly suggest it. I'm not in any way affiliated with wealth dynamics or Roger Hamilton. I just took the test for myself. It generated my wealth dynamics, and I found it to be incredibly beneficial in my business, and it's something that I really, really like live by. So wealth dynamics is, Roger Hamilton created wealth dynamics around a business owner or entrepreneur's personality. And so what he discovered was there are 8 traits of a business owner that could generate more wealth for them. Okay, so let me clarify that. I'm going to share my screen for a second. Here it comes. Here it comes. Wait for it. Okay, so Roger Hamilton put together 8 parts of a person that if they function underneath these pieces, they will be able to generate more wealth for themselves because they will be operating under something, under their unique talents and gifts. So the first one is the creator. Now, what I want you to do is while I'm talking about these, if any of them sound like they're you, write it down because we're going to come back to this information later. So I'm going to talk about all 8, and I want you to pick the one that you feel most resonates with who you are. And what I'm talking about is how you were like gifted, how the magic wand touched you when you were in your mother's womb to wire your brain in a certain way to make you function. You know, it's like you're either a morning person or a night person, or you're shy or you're outgoing. And these are things that are not necessarily learned. They're kind of ways that you were like gifted at birth, okay? So the first one is the creator. Now the creators can't help creating. They're good at creating profitable ideas and businesses, but not so good with the day-to-day running of business. Successful creators will delegate everything except the creative process. So examples of this are Walt Disney or Martha Stewart. Second is the mechanic. Mechanics are perfectionists who like to finish things rather than create them. They want to make everything better and fine tune them, and that's their magic special spark. An example of this is Henry Ford. No pun intended. The third one is the star. So it's easy to spot a star. Obviously you have music and sports stars, but high-profile CEOs can also be thought of as stars. They rely on the strength of their personality and are aware of the pressure always having to deliver. An example of this is Oprah Winfrey. The supporter. The supporters are great networkers with loads of energy and enthusiasm. Their greatest wealth can be achieved when they join forces with a star, creator, deal maker, or mechanic. Example of this is Steve Ballmer. He's from Microsoft, was a supporter to Steve Jobs. The fifth one is the deal maker. A deal maker relies on relationships, connections, and being able to react intuitively when the best opportunities present themselves. And as an example of this, you can think Shark Tank. The sixth one is the trader. A trader is someone who naturally hunts out bargains, naturally loves haggling, and gets immense satisfaction from a great deal. They're equally as good at finding high-priced buyers for things. An example of this is like stock traders. Seventh is the accumulator. Incremental growth is the key to this wealth dynamics profile. They are patient and disciplined and will stick fast to a successful system. An example of this is Warren Buffett. The last and not least is the Lord. So it's not like Lord like God, it's like Lord of the manor. The Lord likes to control everything. You can find a Lord where there are fixed assets generating cash. They don't want attention like the stars, and they like to create wealth quietly. An example of this is Ingvar Kamprad, who is the creator of IKEA. So I'll leave these up for just a second as I move on a little bit. But the important thing here is that you relate to one of these more than the other. I know I do. My wealth dynamic is a supporter, second by star. So you can see me being a star right now on video and being in support of all of you on this webinar. So for me, a webinar like this is perfectly aligned with how I was created. So I'm going to stop share now so you can see me again. Hi, here I am again. So I'd love to see in the chat what you think you are. If you're a creator, a star, a mechanic, a lord, a deal maker, go ahead and put that in chat so I can see who's in the room. I'm seeing lots of creators. Awesome. I'm seeing someone, Megan, said, wealth dynamics changed my life. I agree, me too. Stars, creator, star, supporter, deal makers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now let's dive into revenue stream. I'm going to take a sip of my water to give you a second to cool off. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to dive into revenue stream. The first thing when we think about our revenue streams, I'm seeing all of you still posting your wealth dynamics, and that's awesome. Keep it coming. It's awesome. Creator and stars and mechanics, and this is great. Deal makers, this is great. So when talking about revenue stream, what we're going to do is talk about first, who's your target audience? Now, here's a distinction that I really, really want to make clear. What we're talking about today is not going to be successful if you're doing it for only money-making purposes. If you're here like just figuring out how you can make money, great, more power to you, but I can promise you you're going to make more money if you're in pursuit of how you can be in service. If you're in pursuit of how you can love on people, provide high value to people, and be in service of someone, that I can promise you will make you more money than if you just chase money. That being said, the first thing that we're going to do when we talk about how to decide on a revenue stream is to talk about our target audience. So when we're trying to discover our target audience, first question that we have to answer is, who do you love? Who do you love working with? Do you love working with homeowners, business owners, restaurants? Is there a particular person or type of project that you love working on? Within those categories, there are subcategories that could narrow that down even more, like, for example, women business owners or homeowners with kids. I personally love a residential project when the homeowners have kids. I have a child myself, and so for me, having that little relatable thing with a person, or especially a mom, I love working with moms, to me just gives me an extra layer of energy that I love. So go ahead and write in the chat who you think that is for you, if it's homeowners, business owners, restaurants, or if you already know an idea of a subcategory, I'd love to see who's in the room and how I can support you better. Awesome, awesome. Hostesses and hosts, this is great. This is great. Okay, so once you get clear on who your target audience is, homeowners with big personalities, I love it. So once you get clear on who you love to serve, you'll know what your target audience is. So knowing your target audience is going to set us up to understand how to deliver that later. So hold on to that for a second. So right now you're holding on to two things. You're holding on to your wealth dynamic, and you're holding on to who you love. Okay. So there's the third thing I'm going to want you to hold on to, and then we're going to weave those three things together to discover what our revenue building product is. So the third thing we're going to hold on to, awesome, business owners, new construction and remodeling homeowners. Awesome, Cheryl, thank you. Okay, so the third thing to hold on to is, what is your unique specialty? So call it a gift. As designers, I know we're all amazing at design. I'm sure we're all really, really good at together a room. And there's something the way that you put together a room that makes you unique and that makes you special. It's your special, unique gift. For some people, it could be the way that you choreograph lighting in a space. For others, it could be color. I'm sure for Sam, it's color. That's probably your special gift. For others, it could be space layout or space usage. So think about for a second, what is your special gift? We're going to think about what our special gift is. And then we're going to pair that with what is the problem it solves for people. So if your special gift, for example, is space layout, then the problem it's solving for people is, how do I lay out my furniture? Now that might sound like an obvious one-to-one relationship, and of course that's the problem for the solution, but it's not always obvious to some people. So if it wasn't obvious or is still not obvious to you, then that's great. That's a great place to explore. And being able to answer that question is going to set you up later for how best and most poignantly to market your product. So hold on to that. Okay, so now you're holding on to three things. Remember, you're holding on to your wealth dynamic, you're holding on to your target audience, and now you're holding on to what your special gift is. You're holding on to three things. So now we can start diving into your product. This is like the moment we've all been waiting for. I wish I had like drum roll music in the background. Thank you, Sam. So we're going to dive into what's your product. And this is what is, what you're going to make money off of, what people are going to pay you for. So I'm going to start with an example. So an example is, let's say your specialty gift is space planning, and your target audience is homeowners who just moved into their house. So the problem that they have is how to lay out furniture. So your solution, and this is what is going to be your product / your solution is going to be information on how to lay out furniture. Does that make sense? Say that makes sense in the chat, so make sure you're tracking with me. Makes sense. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Makes sense. Makes sense. Great. Okay, you're tracking with me. This is great. So, so now we have an understanding of what our product is. It's the information on how to lay out furniture. That is the product we're going to be making money off of. You could call it your money-making topic. So now we're going to talk about the delivery of that information or the delivery of that product. Here's the revenue stream. Dun, 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 revenue stream moment. Oh, I wish I could put like stickers on my face or something.
That's what we need.
Yeah, that's what we need. Okay, so revenue stream moment. Now, it's very, 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 very important that your revenue stream or delivery method is exactly aligned with your wealth dynamic. I'm going to repeat that because it's very important. It's so important that your delivery method, and this means what people are going to give you money to receive, that delivery method has to be aligned with your wealth dynamic, or you're not going to be able to deliver it with as much energy and high value and enthusiasm and over deliver and make it awesome as much as you would if it wasn't built around your wealth dynamic. So here's how to think about the delivery method for your revenue stream. Now we're going to follow along with the example of your special gift being space planning for homeowners who just move into a house, whose problem is how to lay out furniture. So your product is information on how to lay out furniture. So we're going to follow that example, and I'm going to talk about some revenue streams, ways you could make money on delivering information on how to arrange furniture. Okay, so for example, if you are a star and you love being in front of the camera, then you could consider making video tutorials to sell. Are you a supporter and you love one-on-one time with people? You could consider live one-on-one virtual calls to sell. Are you a mechanic? Then you could consider delivering your service in an online class wherein you're creating and managing the tech part of that delivery. Are you a deal maker? Then you could consider making deals with furniture vendors to support you or support your homeowners. Are you a creator? You could probably excel at creating a lifestyle brand that is always coming up with new things to offer your followers and have other people execute those things. If you're an accumulator, you might consider creating a membership where you're accumulating membership or members over time. If you're a trader, you could consider putting together a subscription service wherein you mail boxes of products to people over time. I know I subscribe to some subscriptions. For example, my son, he's 5, so I subscribe to boxes and they mail to our house once a month. They mail learning activities. So I'm going to show you one more slide. Here it comes. I'm going to show you one more slide, and this one is to show you there are lots of ways that you could deliver your product. So pre-recorded workshops, live workshops, webinars, product shipping. Is now the time to launch your book, ebook, or blog? And then you can advertise on your platforms. Can you create a community or one-on-one coaching, training programs, mastermind groups, membership sites, workbooks, subscriptions, membership dues, franchising fees? So there are lots and lots and lots of ways to create a revenue stream based on your wealth dynamic. So don't worry about that list. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a link to download a workbook that I created that will help guide you through all of these steps. It's workbook style, so that places for you to fill in your answers as you read the workbook. I think it's only 3 pages right now, so it's not exhaustive to go through, but it's very, very valuable to go through. So don't worry about cramming all this information. I know it's a lot in a short time, but please do download that workbook, and it'll be really, really valuable, I'm sure. Okay, so how much do we charge for this stuff? I know that that's always a hot topic. So how much do we charge for this stuff? So you know, there's a lot of information on sales. I personally spend almost $30,000 a year in sales training for myself and my team. So, so I know that there is a plethora, a world of information about sales. So, and by the way, I have developed an online community for designers to help them in their businesses. So if you're interested in that, I'll tell you more about that later, but that's where I give you everything I've ever learned through my 10 years of experience and my incredible exorbitant amounts of time, energy, money I spend in learning about the subject, and I give it all to you. So I would be happy to have you as in our membership. Okay, so sales. Have our product, we understand our delivery method, and now we're going to price this thing. So there's actually 4 questions I'm going to walk you through right now that will help you price this thing. So the first one is, how much does it cost you to produce this product? Is it just you sitting on your patio building a website real quick and it took you an hour, it was no big deal? Or does it cost you $1,000 in gathering products and manufacturing something? How much does it cost you to produce? Consider your time. Your time is a very, very valuable thing that is spent on creating the thing. So consider your time as money spent on the product. The second one is, how much would you have to charge in order for you to feel energized to deliver the thing? Now, I'm an interior designer. I think a lot of people on this call are, and I would imagine that if someone asked you to design a kitchen for $10, you probably wouldn't get like super excited about that project, right? It might bring you down a little bit just based on the price alone. So how much could you charge, or would you charge for your product that would make you super excited to deliver it? Okay. And often when it comes to pricing something, it's not about how much it should be. It's more about how much money can you stand in knowing that you're going to deliver on that value. That's really, really important. Because remember, just because the other person has the money doesn't mean they hold the power. It's actually the reverse. The person with the money is requesting your support with the need that they have. And they're willing to pay so much money for the support that you have in order to answer their problem that they're going to be willing to spend a lot for that. So how much can you stand in the value of what you provide? That's the most important thing when it comes to sales and pricing. So the third thing is, how many would you need to sell in order to create your I'm trying to think of the word, Goal. Thank you. I have a master's degree. You would never guess. So how many would you need to sell in order to reach your goal at the end of the month? If your goal is, let's say, $12,000 at the end of the month, how many would you need to sell to meet that goal? If it's $300 per unit, your goal would then be 10 a week. Can you deliver 10 in 1 week? If your goal is $4,000 a month and you sold everything for $100 each and you sold 10 a week, that's $4,000 a month if my math is correct. Math is definitely not my first language, so don't get your calculator out. Just understand the concept. So how many can you deliver in order to reach your sales goal? And how many can you deliver with high value? If you think you can only deliver 1 a week of your product, then that probably the price of that product is going to go way up. If you think you could deliver, 10 in 1 week, then consider, do you need to do Facebook ads in order to generate that amount of interest? So how easy would it be for you to sell 10? If you could feel like you could sell 1 very easy, then consider how much would you need to charge to sell 1. So these are all questions to ask when you're thinking about how much how to price your product. So the last thing we're going to talk about is marketing. And I'm not going to dive too deep into marketing because I'm going to assume that if you're already in business, then you probably have some wherewithal when it comes to marketing the thing. But just as a tip, one major concept to consider is the people that you love to serve. Where are they hanging out online? And can you meet them there? And when you meet them there, what is something that you could give them very valuable for free to get them to trust you to buy something from you later? I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, right? Make sense in the chat so I know what's going on. Okay, so that's a very fast, very big, very intensive sort of look at creating revenue in this time. I know that for me, it's something I've been dedicated to already. So for me, this is something that I feel is really, really important. It was before COVID. It is especially now in COVID, and it will be on the other side of this. What I am desperate for everybody on this webinar to understand is that the way you go through COVID will essentially be a mirror of how you are performing on the other side. Mm-hmm. And what I want to make sure you understand is that if you're hobbling through right now, I don't want you to be hobbling on the other side and be struggling to get back on your feet for a long period of time. What I do want to see is that you feel empowered, you take action, and you do things today that will help generate revenue now, yes, because of the obvious concerns for revenue in this time, but also so that you have a pipeline of money coming in on the back end of COVID. If you can harness the gift that the universe is giving you right now of time and space around doing this thing well, can you imagine the revenue stream that will follow you as you continue on? So yes, you'll still be working on projects on the other side, and alongside of your projects, having this monthly reoccurring revenue stream that is a machine you built that will be continually giving you revenue month to month without much attention to it. I mean, how incredible of a gift would that be to you on the other side? Incredible. So because I'm a leader that leads by example, I'm going to tell you that my dedication to revenue stream during COVID is because I'm a star supporter in my wealth dynamics. I have a heart to support you. I have built an association called the Biographical Design Collective, which is a membership model built to support designers in their business during this time and beyond. So what I'm offering you guys on this webinar right now, and then we'll take questions, is a call with me. We'll spend an hour, we'll deep dive together through the workbook, and I'll spend an hour with you personally getting this through. And also, I would invite you to attend a 3-day workshop that I have coming up early May, where we'll deep dive into all of this, whether it's for this COVID business revenue stream or the long term of your business on the back end. But I'm here to support you. If you're interested, please type I'm interested in the chat, and I'll go ahead and send you a link. You can visit biographical.com/workbook to download that workbook. It's really, really high value. I suggest that you do it. And I will be here to support you. I'm your biggest fan. I'm a huge cheerleader for all of you. I know that you all are going to harness this time and do your best. So now I think we have time for 2 questions.
I'll let them gear up the questions. I thought this was excellent. I think it's a great frame of reference for just business in general. It definitely, boiling the ocean is a huge issue of thinking that you can just solve so many things to try to solve, honestly, this issue we're in trying to make money in a time where everything feels frozen. So figuring out what you're great at and really going in that direction is excellent. And to be honest, I think pricing is definitely one of the hardest things that businesses deal with. So walking through that was excellent. Even I, as a small business owner too, you look at pricing, I literally look at it and I'm like, so hard. And yeah, it's not easy. And I think having this offering for you to be able to speak with and to really brainstorm and work through this in a longer session is definitely a benefit to anyone, especially as they're trying to fine tune what they're offering. Being able to talk back and forth with interested parties who have experience and having advisors is something that I know that I personally have just benefited from fully. So this was amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see. I know we have a lot of this is great comments and I'm interested comments. I'll make a point to make sure that everything too, we follow up in an email as well. So all these links will be active. And they can reference your workbook and connect with you for your workshop as well. We have the Facebook Live too, so I have the link in there too, so everyone can follow up. I'm not seeing any questions, but is there any last thoughts or words that you'd like to add and say to everyone?
If I could say one last thing is that, like you said, Sam, and I think you're so right, is that we, as designers, we're designers. But as business owners, I think it's so often that we're like, wait, I was never trained for that. I don't have an MBA. I don't have, and sales questions, marketing questions, revenue questions, all of these things are questions that I know I've been through. I have coaches and support for myself. And that's why I've created this community where I can be in support of you, talk you through things. It's so important to be in community with other people that are champions for the same goal as your own. It's so valuable. So I give a personal invitation. If you're here to the end of this webinar, I give you my personal invitation to join with us so that I can champion for you on your goals in your business.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. This was excellent. I wrote a bunch of notes that I'm probably going to write a blog post about. So definitely thank you so much for everything. I'll make sure to send more information to all of the folks who are in attendance. And for everyone else, we have 10 more virtual sessions after this too. So vision.co/virtual sessions. If you found some information super interesting or you loved what Katie had to offer, make sure that you tag her and share it too. We're all in this together, and I'm glad that honestly, Katie and I met so that we could bring this for everyone in the Vision community. So thank you so much, Katie, and everyone have a great day, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Cheers and congratulations on the work you're doing.
Thanks. I'm just keeping up with you, obviously. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys.